Hello, I'm Ricardo Tenorio. I submitted a film for the 7-day film challenge. I collaborated with Max Lambert, and the film is called A Brief Run. And for Voices Heard, I submitted Puff Puff Bang, a comedy crime film.
Puff Puff Bang, you've been working on for a while. I,
Yeah.
I've seen your social media posts, and you've been working on that for almost a year, right? Somewhere around there.
Uh, I started the project all the way back in 2021. I think there's been a few versions of the script. Um, but we tried to kick it off back then, but it didn't really work out. And I wanted to get back into filmmaking because I took a bit of a hiatus, and that was a script that I liked. So uh, bringing it back, I think that did take maybe like a year's bit of work.
People who've come, if anyone has come to our fest before, has seen your work through the years,
Hmm.
and more recently has been animation, and this is live action.
Yeah.
It was like shifting gears to live action after doing so much animation.
Mm. I I think when I first started making films, I did like a nice I had a nice balance between both styles. Um but during that hiatus, um I definitely did more animation, working on like Battle Fantasy X Chow Chow and Orange Carcass. Some of those have heavy uses of animation. So coming back to work on Puff Puff was a lot of fun, but it was a big challenge because it's an ensemble. I wanted to challenge myself with different locations, so it was definitely difficult starting like this kind of new like level of scale for me, because I do like my animation style, but doing this live action, I love working with actors. I think that's one of my strongest suits, working with actors and bringing out like a performance that I really like for the project.
Yeah, I know there's quite a few regular actors from your projects in this, plus a friend of mine's in your film, Max Williamson.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, we worked together on a film called Cricket, and I see that he has a small but memorable role in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every time I've shown it to the few people that have seen it, they love his character. And like you said, it is a very like minor, or no, I want to say minor, but it's a small role. But I think Max definitely steals the show. He puts so much life into that scene that he's in. And this was the first time I've worked with him, and when he showed up, um, he just like brought everything. He brought his A game. Um, like I just said, just show up, and we'll shoot the scene. But he brought in like a suitcase of different outfits, and just he was working with me with like the dialogue, just like trying to get things right. And yeah, he was a pleasure to work with. And I think when we finished shooting, we all left kind of with smiles because it was a really fun time shooting that scene.
With your other film, A Brief Run,
Hmm.
we began something this year. We're trying something new, like a film challenge, a 7-day challenge where you had to shoot and complete a film in a week. It's a little longer than the 48, but normally I think that sometimes 48 directors go back and polish their films anyway because of the rush schedule. So I
Hmm.
chose to do the a week challenge to make sure that the films were as polished as they could be before they're on the screen.
Yeah.
You signed up for that pretty quickly. You
Hmm.
were one of the first people that did that. And so you had to conceive a film, shoot it, edit it in a week, sound design, all that stuff.
Hmm.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
Uh, this project was a collaboration, so it had two directors. Where Puff Puff, like a lot of the writing and directing, that was like all me. But for this one, it was me and my friend Max Lambert. And I discovered I've known him for a while, but I discovered his work because I saw the senior screenings, the senior films at UWM, and I saw his film. And one of these days, uh, um, at work, because we work together, I brought up the 7 day film challenge, and he was like, "You want to do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." I wasn't planning on doing it because it was something that um, I just wasn't sure if I was prepared for, and I wanted to make sure I could do something good. But having this extra um, having another
Collaborator.
director, yeah, a collaboration, like we could, that like doubles our resources. And so we both went into this, and we had a sit down meeting with another writer, and the three of us came up with a script that developed in um, a short amount of time, and then we all met up and shot it, and it was a lot of fun.
And there wasn't very many requirements for the 7 day challenge.
Hmm.
Basically, the only real requirement was it had to be 5 minutes, and you had to shoot 75% of your film outside and show off Wisconsin.
Hmm.
And so, how did that affect your writing?
The 75% was, I think, the bigger thing. Me and Max, we both work on short films a lot, so uh, I I think we were both comfortable with the 5 minute time limit. Uh, but it was the outdoor limit that was kind of making our minds try to figure out like what the story would be. And one day he was like, what about a movie where a guy is like running to a destination throughout all of like kind of Milwaukee landmarks and and neat like uh, give the movie like a nice streety kind of vibe. And I really like that idea. I think there's some really nice, beautiful areas in Milwaukee, and it'd be fun to run around it and try to shoot it. So I think for a little bit of time, it was like, what story do we do? But once we latched on to this idea of a guy running throughout Milwaukee, I think then we were like, all right, now let's let's focus on the jokes, because it's a comedy. And I think that was more of the challenge, like trying to get as many jokes in as we could, and while also being within the 5 minute time limit.
Yeah, comedy's harder to do than horror and sci-fi.
Yeah.
And I was surprised you picked comedy because I know where your talents lie in genre. So I enjoyed your film.
Hmm. Thank you, thank you.
Um, and Max's work on it too, obviously.
Yeah, we both have very different styles, and I think early on writing, it was definitely like something like a learning experience for me in particular, um, because I'm just so used to writing everything on my own. So working with Max, like I had to kind of adjust to that, and I think sometimes we had to let go of ideas, but also things kind of blossomed in the writing that we didn't expect because of this collaboration and in editing, which was a really nice surprise.
Both these films are world premieres at the festival. Do
Hmm.
you plan to hit the festival circuit with them?
Um, yeah, I think so. I'm really like happy that it's gonna be a world premiere at the short film festival, because in the past, I think sometimes when I've finished a project, I'll just upload it online. So these two films, it's nice that they're world premieres, and we have two projects for this festival, which is definitely, I think, a first. Like I've been in the festival for multiple years in the past, but this is the first time that we have two films to show off, and I think that means double the
Completely
celebration.
different films.
Yeah, very different films, but both I'm very happy with. I'm very proud of.
Okay. Well, thanks, Ricardo. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you, Ross.